Hey, this is Alan Curtis Meisner, otherwise known as the Dragonmancer. This, of course, is the lair of the Dragonmancer, and of course, as ever with me are my lovely assistants, the tortoise, the mouse, and the eagle. Now, basically, this is kind of a interesting story that I remember learning about a few months ago. There was a woman by the name of Belle M. Spafford who, as many Latter-day Saint women who are much, much older than me by quite a few decades, as can attest, she was what they called the Relief Society General President, and she has been for a much longer period of time than any Relief Society president that has come before or since. To be more specific, she was, I believe, Relief Society General President for close to, if not exactly, 20 years. She was called by President George Albert Smith, and she was released by President Spencer W. Kimball, who was at least 5 church presidents down the line since then. And one of the stories that has been experienced by her, one of the experiences she had, I should say, was one that inspires me to this day. It happened one day when President George Albert Smith was president of the church. She was a member of a National Council of Women, and she gave a presentation on charitable work. She prepared well, she did pretty well, but then she ran into somewhat of a dilemma when she was there. She was at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, and the dilemma that she came across was that every empty chair she went to, women tipped up the table saying, "No, you can't sit here." And this happened repeatedly. And so at this point, she was beginning to become heartbroken, and she was right on the border of tears. I gotta admit, I'm probably pretty close to that myself. But just when, just at that moment, the National Council President stepped in, and she asked Sister Spafford what was wrong, and Sister Spafford said to her, "Please, where am I to sit?" And the president glanced around the room and sensed immediately what happened, and she said to Sister Spafford, "Well, you are to sit with me." Now, despite this very generous policy, she went to President George Albert Smith and said, "I'm recommending that we withdraw our membership from the National Council for Women. We're not getting anything out of it." And so President George Albert Smith, he repeats the statements that she made in forms of questions. "You're recommending that we withdraw our membership from the National Council of Women?" And he asked, and she replies, "Yes. And you're saying that the reason why you're recommending it is because we are not getting anything out of it?" And she replies, "Yes, that's correct." And then President Kimball points out, or not President Kimball, President George Albert Smith President Smith replies, "Tell me something, Sister Spafford. What is it that you were putting into the council?" Needless to say, she came out of that a different woman. The interesting thing about this story, that if you forget everything else, please remember that if you really want to get something out of something, then and the best way to get something out of it is to put something into it. I find that that's the case with me when it comes to creating YouTube. That basically, if I don't put something into YouTube, like what I'm putting in right this minute, I'm not going to get anything out of it. It would be the same with anything in life, that basically, if I really want to get something out of life, I must put something into it. And that's my advice right there. Thank you for watching, as ever, and have a nice night.